You only have a few seconds to communicate with your audience member. And if your visual identity isn't doing that quickly and succinctly, then you need to change it.
Most brand agencies tend to create a diagram or a system, and people don't respond to diagrams. They respond to stories.
It's almost like you have to hold a funeral before you are able to do the resurrection.
And then all the pieces suddenly fit together, and you suddenly get this belief that you do have something.
That's when you know this one particular challenge will no longer pose a challenge.
It always felt like we were all trying to achieve the same thing, but that they were bringing more to it than I'd ever imagined was in it. A really good brand is probably a good logo, but more importantly, there's a powerful idea behind it.
We were trying to create a more modern approach to bakeries, so leave the old style craft bakeries behind, which huge respect for, but very different.
You've got 400 years worth of history. That's how long the family have been here. A really rich agricultural past, a range of hospitality and leisure businesses. You've got a construction arm, 300 properties that are let out to local people. When you sort of look at the brand of that, it's like, okay, how do you even go about that? Where do you start?
It was absolute top 3 of things that we needed to do as a bakery.
The first challenge, how do you bring 800 people with you on a rebrand where the company had existed for 20 years?
You need something really, really single-minded if lots of different stakeholders with lots of different interests are going to kind of buy into it.
IT has their stuff, designers, UXers. It's quite exciting.
We didn't really know what it was that we were making. It's not a product, it's not a service, it's not a company. What is it? How do you turn that into something kind of tangible that people can relate to? And in a way, that's what the Click succeeded at brilliantly, I think.
It starts with an immersive, obviously chats and meetings, and then an immersive experience, a coming, meeting the teams. So then it all went quiet and you don't hear anything for a bit and they're digesting what they've experienced. And then what you're presented with is a brand story, purely written, no visuals.
When you have to bring the definition of the strategy to life, you really need really brilliant minds who can think conceptually.
Once we've got the name and the identity and the story, it started to feel real and tangible.
It's an incredible thing to bring that brand to life.
The Click, understand how you put together an identity.
This business all runs on conviction. There's no provable right or wrong answer. It's what we believe in. So a lot of the time, yes, you're buying design and you're buying thinking, but really what you're buying is conviction and confidence.
When the board saw the concepts, that was it. That was love at first sight. And so it was almost like, the rebirth of, their business.
The brand story finished with this phrase, history in the making. It's a very active phrase and extremely clever.
The really brilliant thing about Brandland is the way that it suggests that this is a place. That name was very clever. The handwritten B symbol, the idea of make your mark, for me turned rather an amorphous project into something quite tangible.
Face value, you could look at something, it's simple, but there's always a twist and a clever element, which I love. It worked because people now do understand why we're different, why we act like we act, and why we get to do what we do.
This one little central idea of value added, value shared, adding the addition, the plus, sharing that, it's just an idea that keeps giving. And they were able to bring this to life across the different design assets. That is the perfection.
And what they presented was something very different, not expected, which were two typefaces, that we are this amazing, historic, legacy-rich brand, but yet everything we do is about our future. All of that big, bold storytelling put into an ident was magic.
A bakery doesn't get to go in a cathedral, a bakery doesn't get to go in these epic buildings that we do. But because we're a brand attached to bread, attached to something, suddenly, yeah, you can come and do your thing in here, which is incredible.
There's massive simplicity, but also lots of feeling and lots of spirit and a kind of joy, really, in what they're doing.
You put your heart and soul into it. You really need people who really value their own craft and take pride in it. That's why I still work with the Click.
Absolute trust. And they've never failed us, and they never will.
They took all of those facets and packaged them up into this amazing, I believe, iconic brand identity that is going to stand the test of time for us.